My name is Chloe D'Amato, and for this week's assignment, my group chose to talk about diamonds. We answered some questions about diamonds, the first one being, do prices matter? Diamonds are not rare, therefore they are depreciating assets since they lose a large portion of their value the second someone buys one. The company that sells diamonds knows that people will always buy them. This makes diamonds inelastic products because the price change doesn't affect quantity demanded. An example of an inelastic product could be anything from gas to water to food, because those are all necessary goods, and no matter their prices, people will always be in need of them and will always buy those goods. In Chapter 3 of Naked Economics, it talks about the government enforcing antitrust laws that forbid companies from conspiring together in ways that erase the benefits of competition. It then goes on to talk about how having 3 airlines that secretly collude when setting fares is no better than having one slovenly monopoly. The point that I'm trying to make in this is in the next sentence, but it needed the context. It says, the bottom line is that all these institutions form the tracks on which capitalism runs. This is important because capitalism operates on producing a good or service for a price, but that price isn't always monetary. The price could be anything from cheap labor, bad wages, and blood, not necessarily only money. When speaking about the diamond industry, it's rarely missed that diamonds have been funding insurgencies and rebel groups in attacking legitimate governments. These wars have plagued West Africa for several years. Governments have failed to step in and attempt to stop these wars because of capitalism. The second question is, what other products are used instead of diamonds, and what other products are diamonds used with? Some other products that can be used instead of diamonds are substitutes, such as a gem called moissanite, because it is said to have more clarity, beauty, and durability than diamonds. Another substitute being rubies or emeralds or any other type of precious stone, because diamonds are the normal and most common stone to get on wedding rings or engagement rings, for example. Society has grown to basically only use diamonds for engagement and wedding rings. Other products that diamonds are used with are different types of jewelry such as necklaces, bracelets, and especially rings. The third question was, how do consumers react to change in price? In Chapter 1 of Naked Economics, Charles Whelan states that when the cost of something falls, it becomes more attractive to us. This shows that price change greatly affects consumers and their thought processes in making purchases. When a price falls, consumers want to take advantage of that, so they buy more of whatever it is. When the price rises, people don't buy that certain product as often as they used to.
When the price of diamonds changes, this directly affects the demand of diamonds. If the demand of diamonds is low, the producer does not need to produce as many diamonds ready to sell because their supply is already high since no one has been buying them. This also affects the producer's reaction to the change in price. When the price of diamonds is low, the demand will be high because people will want to buy them at a better price since they're getting a better deal. This means that the supply will be low and producers are going to have to come up with more diamonds to sell to their consumers so they can make more money for their companies. Another topic about diamonds is, how is the price of the good determined? The price of the good is probably determined usually by the amount of sales the good is sold over a period of time. In the book Naked Economics, the author Charles Whelan talks about how a company also attempts to pick a price that leads to the quantity of sales that earns the company the most money. He gives the example of Gap and how they change their sweatshirt prices based on how much they sell, and they raise them if a lot of people are buying them, and they lower them if no one is buying them. I believe that this is true when talking about the price of diamonds and how companies determine what a good price point is for their product. Another factor that can change the price of diamonds can be little things also, like the size of the diamond, the cut, the shape, the color, or the clarity of it. Another thing could be trends in society and if the diamonds are a popular trend. An example of this would be wedding rings. If diamonds weren't popular for wedding rings, this is a big part of their production, and it would greatly affect the diamonds being sold if it wasn't a trend. Other different jewels can also affect how a producer changes the price of their product based on the competition that they have with this other jewelry or other things being used instead of diamonds.
So no, The government should not set up prices for diamonds because if they don't have as much value anymore, consumers should not have to pay above what they're worth. As an industry, the people selling diamonds and the demand for diamonds should determine what a reasonable price for them should be. The consequences of not having a set price by the government may be that diamond producers aren't going to be making as much money, which might lead to job loss or workers earning a lower wage. So, if the government doesn't set a price for diamonds, the price should be a direct reflection of what the customers want. If there's a higher demand for them, the price should rise. If there's a lower demand, the price should decline.
As far as the market reaction goes, there's not much change in price considering diamonds are owned by an overall bigger company, so they vary roughly in the thousands depending on what you get as far as a necklace, a pendant, a ring, an earring. It does not fluctuate at all because diamonds aren't rare, so there's never a need to change the price unless the owner itself wants to change the price. It will never change. As far as competitiveness goes or market competition, there's not a whole lot considering it's kind of like a monopoly, so it's run by shares. So basically there's not like, you don't have to pick one place or the other. It's kind of like there's there's different types of jewelers. They're all going to be roughly the same. So, I mean, you're paying for the same exact product. I mean, there might be a different metal band, different metal necklace. It all roughly will just depend on what you're specifically looking for. But and overall, there's no very huge reaction and people will still consume the same amount or pay for the same amount no matter what changes.
Diamond market and mining of them is very dangerous, not only for the people involved in the market or gathering, but the people in the area the mining happening are affected. Children are gathered and used as soldiers, women are raped, human rights are abused, and people are forced off the land and moved around many times as refugees. Relocated families live in poverty, and none of this will change because of all the corruption in the authorities and high-up people. Also, all the mining and moving around of mining operations with little environmental laws disrupt the environment and land exponentially. All of those effects that the diamond market has on everything are all negative, such as dangers presented to the local people and stress they go through every day. With all the environmental impacts it has on the land, something should be done. All these things should be corrected as soon as possible in a humane way. The local government should be in charge, but with all the corruption, the government reasonably will not be able to do it. It'll probably have to be a local militia and people that are harmed to stand up and do something for themselves.